Hi there, my name's Councillor Tony Newman and I lead the Labour group of councillors in Croydon Town Hall, and we're currently in opposition to the Conservative administration. And I'm delighted to be speaking to you today with my colleagues in the Woodside ward, Councillors Jewitt and Paul Scott. And we've just been talking about how the whole ward and the area we represent through Davison Road, Towpath Way and all the other roads, Portland Road, has been neglected by this Conservative council. And I think, Paul, it really started with the decision they took on the sports centre in Portland Road.
It did, yes. I mean, actually, Tony, one of the reasons I actually became a councillor in Woodside as a local resident was to help improve Portland Road. That's one of the reasons why also I'm the chair of People for Portland Road, for example. And one of the keys for our regeneration of Portland Road was the new sports centre, which would not only have a larger swimming pool, but also a whole range of facilities. And as you recall, the Tories, one of the first things they did when they took control was to scrap our plans, paying £500,000 to the contractors to buy themselves out of the contract. That was the council payers' money that was just wasted. And then they left the building to be vandalised for about 6 months, causing another £500,000 of cost to local residents. And all we've got as a result is a patched up old pool with none of the extra facilities that people really needed, particularly young people, to help get them off the street and get them out of trouble. And and give them positive things to do.
I think it is a real scandal. And talking of young people and where perhaps they can play, I know, Karen, you've been very active in the campaign to bring the Love Lane Green piece of land back into use, and we're seeing 2 years of delays by the Conservatives there in terms of getting that sorted out for local people.
I mean, if you go back even more, this bit of land was sold off to make money during the Thatcher government. The Conservatives sold it off. And now they have a very good chance of making things right by putting it back into public domain, taking down the old corrugated fence and making it available for the children who play in the streets, which is actually quite dangerous. But although we are quite near the country park, it is quite far for 10 and 11-year-olds to go there on their own. I'm not sure I would want my child to be there by himself, so they play in the street. This would be a good, local, plain basic park that kids could play cricket, rounders, football without bothering anybody. It's not a place where it's got, it's a conservation area. It doesn't matter if they mess up the ground a bit where the goals are. It would be a good local place for local people.
And of course, we actually put aside a quite substantial sum of money to actually buy that land back through a compulsory purchase order if necessary. And the Tories have just totally ignored it. They're really not interested. They're now starting to pretend they are, the usual sort of thing, but they're not really doing anything.
No, I think you're right. It's been incompetence, and as Karen says, it does go back, doesn't it, to the Conservatives doing deals with property speculators, some people say. I mean, some things never change, perhaps. Yes. And the people at Woodside are suffering from that. I think, Paul, we should also thank yourself and all those others involved with the People for Portland Road group who've done so much to campaign for the community in our area as well, and we're very pleased to work with those on the group on a number of issues. As we have been doing recently, just briefly on the campaign to secure the safe access to the Norwood Junction station, which yes. All three of us have been involved in that fight to try and overturn the bureaucracy there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, whilst the East London Line extension that's going to be coming to Norwood Junction is a great thing, recently Transport for London and Southern, but mainly Transport for London, have actually started closing the gate on the Woodside side, and actually half the people using that station actually use that gate. It's very important for the community. What we're actually looking to do now is to push things further, not only get the gate open all the time, but we want a massive refurbishment of that station. Money from the government, from the Labour government, is coming forward. We need to make sure it's actually spent in the Norwood Junction, and actually spent on that entrance as well as the rest of the station as well.
What Paul says is perfectly right, and it's unfair that we should have the back entrance open. I work in the ward with elderly people, with disabilities, and adults with learning difficulties. The back entrance to that station is a place where they feel safe and they feel able to come out of it. Although there's steps there, they can still come out of it and feel that they're in a lit street. What they don't want to have to do, and what will actually curb their travel, is to have to go under any tunnel or any side road. And if you're elderly and you've made the effort to go out to maybe to visit a museum or something, now that the Labour government's made them free to get into, up in London, when you come back, you actually don't want a great big long walk all the way round.
No,
to get there.
absolutely.
And I know and feel safely getting home.
And I know local people support that. So in conclusion, I'm really proud as the Labour Group leader to be working with, I think, Karen and Paul in the Woodside Ward, two of Croydon's leading community activist councillors, and we'll certainly do all we can, whether it's developments, whether it's train stations, whether it's Portland Road, whatever we can to represent your views and make your case and get things changed for the better for the local community.
We'll also continue the work in actually making the area safer. Back in 2006 we got new streetlights put in around the station area. That programme was supposed to be rolled out around the rest of the local area and has been put on hold by the Conservatives. The local police team that Ken Livingston put in is doing a fantastic job, but they need other support as well, like like the extra street lighting, which will make people feel and actually be much safer in the local area.
Absolutely. So thanks to Karen and Paul for having a word with us today. And if you've got any other issues, contact us online, drop us a line at the town hall, or give us a phone call. But we're here to respond to you anytime.